That bill is referred to committee. Councilman Domb?
Thank you, Council President. I'd like to make a few remarks today about the tax reform legislative package I'm introducing as we plan for the upcoming budget conversations. Our city faces a challenging, unique moment in time. We can use this moment to keep down the same path we've been on, or we can take bold actions to help change the trajectory of Philadelphia. In proposing these three bills today, I hope to start a much needed and important conversation about reopening our economy and about how we grow into the future. This includes creating more family sustaining jobs for our residents, helping our small and medium sized businesses, and overall how we make Philadelphia an attractive place to live, work, and do business. Now's the time to examine what's working and what's not working. We need to explore how we get the desired results we all want and need for Philadelphians. This crisis is an opportunity for change and tax reform that can restart our economy and benefit our residents and businesses for years to come into the future. Our present crisis will not allow us to continue to tolerate having one of the highest tax burdens among the largest U.S. cities while having the lowest employment rate per 1,000 residents. We need to create an attractive environment for businesses, workers, and families to grow here and locate here. This is especially true for all those small and mid-sized businesses that are already here and have been deeply affected by the pandemic. They are our backbone. They've been loyal to our city, and we appreciate each and every business in our city that has stayed despite the many forces working against them. This pandemic has highlighted, if not magnified, the difficulties that come with bringing back demand to the city. Every business is faced with staying and paying complicated and higher tax rates, or moving sometimes across the street and paying less. In a post-pandemic world, and as technology continues to advance, the ease of working anywhere will only become more prevalent. And if we continue to tax what moves, which is people and their jobs, the more volatile our tax base will become. We have to have a serious conversation about the precarious situation we find ourselves in this year and what it means for the future of Philadelphia. When you can live and work anywhere, we need to compete for demand in Philadelphia. Philadelphia must become more competitive in the region and across major U.S. cities by attracting people and fostering job growth. That is why part of my tax reform package includes lowering the wage tax rates for residents and non-residents at a faster pace than previously proposed. The rest of the tax package addresses what my colleagues and I have heard in several council hearings over the last several years from experts around the country. We have heard that we are the only city in the United States that taxes net income and gross receipts. And we've also heard that of the top 20 cities in the United States, we have the second highest corporate income tax rate for companies. New York is number one at 17.2%, and Philadelphia is number two at 16.2%, while the other 18 cities are all below the 10% threshold. And if you haven't seen it yet, SEPTA is committing capital to a light rail system to King of Prussia. If we do not see this as a potential threat to our competitiveness in the region and future job growth for our city, then we're not paying attention. These next two bills address those issues by reducing the tax burden to allow businesses to pay the higher of either the net income or gross receipts portion of the business income and receipts tax. This will eliminate the requirement to pay both and place us on a more level playing field compared to the other cities in the United States. And lastly, the proposed reform package reduces the net income portion of the business income and receipts tax, the tax at 16.2, by more than half over the next 10 years, again to ensure our competitiveness among U.S. cities and within the region. I think we can expand our tax base faster if we start thinking with a job growth mindset. And given the stimulus packages we're seeing from President Biden's administration, I am hopeful that with all of these things working together in tandem, we can all achieve our goals. As we move forward in these discussions, I hope we all consider and appreciate our need to be more competitive. Philadelphia isn't an island, and people and businesses have more choices than ever before. Competition has never been greater than right now. And we can do this. The current budget, which has increased by $1 billion over the last 5 years, has made minimal investment in our tax structure in order to expand our tax-paying base. In a hearing last week, we saw and heard that for this increase in spending, we weren't made safer, and we made no meaningful dent in the level of poverty for Philadelphia. I'd like to explore with all of you how we take revenue growth and dedicate funds to Philadelphia's Poverty Fund and violence prevention programs to continue to tackle these primary issues in our city. The goal of these bills is to create an open dialogue and start thinking outside the box to reform our tax structure. I plan to engage everyone in this conversation, and it's important that we take this rare opportunity to think about what we do in order to alter the city's current trajectory. This is a moment in time. It's an opportunity for us to reopen our economy with a pro-jobs tax program that will create a stronger economic tax-paying base for the future of our city, which will generate the funds we need and help our residents climb out of poverty and fund violence prevention programs we desperately need. I look forward to working with all of you as we move this discussion forward. Thank you for your time, and thank you, Mr. President.